Gaming on the cheap, fun greater than cost. Too cheap for a real logo, and too cheap for editing too. Hey folks, Ishmael here with Gaming on the Cheap, here to provide you with a demonstration of the Omerta City of Gangsters turn-based strategy mode. Omerta City of Gangsters is a game where divided into two portions. One, a kind of real-time simulation mob empire mode where you buy up property and set up racketeering operations and speakeasies and plan bank heists and all that. But the game has a second mode of where you go into turn-based strategy battles when you handle the actual operations of many of these things, such as the bank heist. You control the gangsters during the bank heist, or when fighting off the other mobs, or fighting off the police, or various random things that just kind of happen. Some part of the story, some you bring on yourself or initiate yourself. So, let's begin. The turn-based strategy battles normally start off with a screen like this where you select your team. You always have 6 gangsters. There's a pool that you don't always. You eventually get up to 6 gangsters. And you can hire some before. There's this whole main list of gangsters that you can hire from, but you can only have 6 at a time. And you can only bring about 4 into most battles. So on this screen, you assign which gangsters you want. If some are currently imprisoned or wounded, that'll show up on the screen. So you have to pick from the rest. Here, I like to go with the boss, my customized gangster, Squigs, Wolf. Oh, I'm sorry, not Squigs. I changed it up a little earlier. Doc and Big Man. Then, additionally, you can choose one person, oftentimes, to try to accomplish a support role from the remaining guys, which is this right here. The support role is always different. This one has the player becomes a assassin that randomly attacks enemy units during the match. Depending on the character, they have a better chance of actually fulfilling the support role. It's not always guaranteed. As you can see here, Squigs is more likely to do it than Two Gun Tucky, or Tusi. I don't know how to pronounce that gem. Alright, let's begin. Here we are trying to take over some gamblers' racket by wiping them out and just taking their business. It's kind of good that the game has these two modes, because neither one, the turn-based strategy or the simulation mode, has enough depth to... Oh, that's the assassin shooting right there. But neither mode has enough depth to really carry the game on its own, but together they kind of synthesize to make this really kind of engaging experience. Alright, as you can see, we start off here with our gangsters. Sometimes they're all surrounded and it picks who gets to shoot first randomly. Usually the enemy isn't aware and you kind of sneak up on them, but as you can see here, in the turn order, they are already queued up, so they know we're here. I guess the assassin tipped them off. There's always a set order to it based on the stats. Here we got Big Man going first, the boss second. So it lets you know when, it allows you to plan accordingly. You can also skip to wherever these guys are on the map by clicking their portraits. Now, one thing is important to note. Your abilities are set. You get 2 kinds of abilities. You got your perks, which are just based on the character, that they get automatically at every 4 levels or so. And then you get another set of abilities from your weapon, which are decided down here. There's no basic attack. There's just the 3 things you can do with your weapon. Each ability uses up AP, action points, and to move, use your movement points here, which decides how far you can move. Big Man here is kind of a tank, a bit of I use him like a tank. I got him set up like a tank. He's got a baseball bat. He's my melee guy. Very strong. So we're going to get him moving there. One thing you want to make sure is you have to move before you act. If you act, most actions will consume your movement, so you can't move afterwards. Alright, the boss here has a Tommy gun, which is a lot of AoE. Just a very wide sweeping area, hits a lot of guys at once. Alright, gangsters are moving. Normally, you can't see them until you discover them. A lot of times you can't even see them in the shadows, so I'm not sure what this is about. These little green dots are, you probably guessed it already, that's cover. If you stand in that, the enemies will have a harder time hitting you. This little I button here tells you how many enemies are in that guy's line of sight, and you can kind of cycle through them. Wolf here has a shotgun, which is also AoE, but, you know, as you can guess, hits harder the closer you are. Alright. So I'm just going to march in here because this is a demonstration. I don't really want to win, although, okay, I do want to win, but it's not serious. Now, this guy has attack that is less accurate, but you can do more often because it costs less AP. One that, well, you don't need me to explain it all. You'll see for yourself. The point is they're different. Some kind of inflict status effects like this one, vulnerable, making them easier to hit. Some don't. Alright, the 90% here, it always tells you what's your percentage chance of hitting them. This might all seem kind of reminiscent of XCOM a little bit. Oh yeah, everyone always has an aim also, which adds one additional, makes you, whatever action you're doing, take up one additional action point, but increases the accuracy, so that's kind of nice. And you wind up doing this kind of math, seeing how many moves you can squeeze in with certain, depending on which actions you choose. You might want to set it up so you can get more in instead of less. This is different from XCOM because XCOM has just allows you to take any two actions with no concern for the points. They used to have time units way back in the day, but they kind of got rid of that. Oh yeah, the baseball bat's really good because, okay, it hits hard and also gives them concussion, which really debilitates them. But that's his move. Doc here, I have him set up with a sniper rifle because every time he got shot, he would start pussing out. Wolf originally starts with it, as you can. Oh yeah, you have to be in line of sight right there. I'm just not thinking much of this through right now, am I? Let's get it done. You start noticing kind of certain archetypes with the enemies, like the pickpockets always do melee. I don't want to bring Wolf in there because the cone will incorporate my guys also, and they'll get hit by it. Do you see the percentages going up for that? You might be wondering why there's a percentage for the chair. Well, you see, the way cover works in this game is that anything between you and what you're trying to shoot kind of works as cover, and there's a percentage chance that you can hit the cover instead of them. So it's not really a bonus, a defensive bonus in the oh, I got the boss select. I thought it was Wolf again for some reason. It's going to be kind of tricky with the boss also because he has a similar AoE effect, so you don't want to get any of your guys on there. Sorry, I got a little 15-minute limit on this, so I'm trying to rush through. But yeah, the enemy archetypes always kind of, if you see what name they always have the same kind of attacks or weapons. This one's terminal. Sometimes there are fail conditions for the maps, but this one is just kill all the enemies. It's kind of a simpler one. I picked it because, you know, just trying to give you an idea of how the game plays, what it feels like. Gonna run up here to get in range. And smack. Oh, the I means he is in the line of sight. He can cycle through the other guys within big man's line of sight by pressing the button like I mentioned earlier. Gonna take another swing. Concussion! Alright. Oh, looks like he's gonna come up on Wolf there. In business. He's kind of bleeding out, that kind of sucks. But yeah, this is pretty much it, though. You just, you know, move, use your 3 to 5 abilities. Well, 6 when they're fully leveled up. Oh, my guy's almost dying. I have no... Yeah. That heals him a bit. See, that's one case where you gotta remember to move before using ability. Now I can't move, and I would shoot big man if I try to get an attack in here, so that was... dumb? Yeah, that was dumb. Oh, yes, courage. That's important to note. Courage is a second statistic of yours. It's almost like a second health bar. If your courage goes below 20, your guy becomes a lot less effective. There's some moves that target courage specifically. Oh, he died. Okay, don't worry, there's no permadeath in this, luckily. Well, actually kind of disappointing because that's part of what made XCOM so damn compelling and stressful. In this, you just get a permanent wound that carries over to the next battles for, well, it's not really permanent, it just lasts a while. So you just gotta wait it out. I'm gonna run up on this guy and blast him. That's a status ailment. I got a perk called Vengeance, that's why that fist is there, where he does 1.5 damage, 1.5 times more damage to the last guy that shot him earlier. That's what that's about. But yeah, so my guy's down, but that doesn't mean he's permanently dead. I can bring Doc over here and revive him, because that's one of Doc's just standard perks inherent in his character. Let's see, so I get close, click on the boss, can only be used once per round, and that used up all of his AP. Well, I got a little bit left, I can set up this thing so it's guaranteed to hit next time. Alright, in turn. I mean, most of the complexity's from the status ailments and such. I think that's everything. I got a little list here. Oh yeah, wonky cover. Action plans, support loadout. Yep. If you lose the battle, what happens is, oh yeah, you see, since boss got killed or, well, wounded, he has this for the next couple battles he goes into. He doesn't have to go into a battle for that to go away, it just takes time, but it keeps you from acting on certain things you'd like to do during the simulation mode. If you do lose the battle, your person gets jailed, and then you have to go on a special mission to bust them out of jail. Which is kind of interesting, but can be a little frustrating. You can use a politician a politician that's favorable with you to just free him right off the bat. But yeah, that's the Omerta City of Gangsters turn-based battle system right there. Not too much to it. It's enough to get you thinking with your placement and all that, and you get some stressful situations. It's interesting. As it's my understanding that the multiplayer is entirely the turn-based battle mode, which is alright, I suppose. I have fun with it, but I'm glad there's the strategy section also. Like, as I said, it's interesting, but it's not interesting enough to drive the whole experience, and they really kind of feed off each other. The things you do in the strategy section enhance your characters. You get them weapons in the strategic and in the simulation section, and the things you accomplish in the actual battles give you more resources and more options to work with in the simulation section. So they kind of feed off each other, and they really need each other. I'll be doing another demonstration one on the simulation sections soon. I hope you come back for that. This has been eShmuel with Gaming on the Cheap at www.gamingonthecheap.wordpress.com. It's my gaming blog helping you keep fun greater than cost and allowing you to enjoy this traditionally expensive hobby while still on a budget. Alright, see y'all next time. Do love ragtime. Goodbye, everybody.